Okay, this time of year, one of the most favorite things that I enjoy doing is looking through old Christmas catalogs at their space toys, mostly robots, but space toys in general. Just love seeing when things were available, what the price was. So, clear back in, what was it, 2013, as you can see on the top of the page, I started a thread on the Alphadrome website and did not list the pages that I eventually found online in order. In other words, starting with the oldest catalog, the newest. They're just random, which is, fun too. For example, this picture of the electronic brain, which I've done videos on, Z-Man, you can find on my channel. That's from 1956. And you could get Z-Man for $10.95. Now, back in 1956, Z-Man was an incredibly advanced toy with the two motors. It has a programmable sequencer. It could fire the missiles. It had flashing lights. Just amazing. And here we go. This says 1956. You get the Magic Through Science. You've got the new robot dog. Now, this is the earlier plastic version. This is the more rare version that you'd want to get. How much was it? It was $4.79 for all its functions. And if you go to the, I'll put a link down below. You can go there and you can actually read the text to all these things. Here's 1958. You've got Big Macs. I've done videos on Big Macs playing with it and showing how it works. Look at these cool robot hands. Look at that. That's cool. Big Macs was $7.19. These robot hands and arm things were $4.29. And again, you could read all about them if you go there. Outer Space Ray Gun, $1.89. What year was that? 1958. Here in 1962, we've got the first Mr. Mercury version. He was only $5.99, so $6. I've done videos on Mr. Mercury. But over here you have even things that are much more rare. I mean, if you have an original Mr. Atomic, it's worth thousands. $6.79. Got this astronaut, $5.79. They're worth a bundle too if you're into collecting for money. I'm not. I'm into collecting only things that I enjoy. And here we have other things from that same area. You got the Mr. Machine, you've got the Robot Commando, done videos on him. You got the Great Garloo, which is kind of a different version of a Mr. Mercury. Instead of walking on legs, it has wheels, but it still bends, it still picks up things. $10.99. How much was Mr. Mercury? $5.99. Of course, the thing about Big Garloo, or Garloo, is that it was very big. It was huge. King Czar. Crawling Crab, I remember those toys. Had one of these, 1962. The mysterious, it's a gigantic gyro. You've got a hand crank, and you just crank that thing up, and it sounds just like you're watching the Tasmanian Devil on a Bugs Bunny movie as they get it going faster and faster and faster. I also had one of these that I bought years later just to tear apart. I wanted to see not only how the blower worked, but it had a light on this side and a light on the other, and they alternately flashed. So I bought it just to tear apart as a kid to see how they were doing that. Spaceships, control centers. 1966. Oh, we got Lost in Space stuff and 007. I had part of a 007 kit that I traded from a neighbor kid. I think I still have the badge. Maybe not. I can't remember. Maybe I've got the Man from U.N.C.L.E. badge. I could be confusing the two. Oh, look, here's the Lost in Space robot for $7.59. What year is this? 1966. Anyway, this just goes on and on and on. There are many, many, many pages, and I find it very enjoyable to look back and see the toys that were available, what the price was at the time, when they first came out, and then you'll see comments from other people on what they remember or questions or something they spotted as a variation. You can learn a lot from reading through this post on Alphadrome, and it's many, many pages long. Like I say, it's not in a numerical order or anything. Look at the Golden Sonic, very advanced toy, but look how expensive this was. This was $17.95, and that was in 1957. So back then, only the rich kids which I didn't know any of, are going to get something as cool as the Golden Sonic. It was one of the whistle detectors. You had a whistle that you would blow, and when you would, I can't remember which way it worked, but anyway, the antenna is going to indicate the direction it's going to move, and by blowing the whistle, I think when you blow it, then the antenna starts spinning, which turns the wheel in the bottom, and then when you stop blowing, it goes in that direction, so you can drive it. Very advanced for not having any electronics inside. It's all it's actually all done mechanically, and I've covered how it's done in many videos on my website that you can find too on sonic controlled toys. But as you can see, there's a lot of pages. Goes up to 6 and then next, and there's more. I think there's a total of 9 pages like this, and this can be added to. You know, you don't have to join Alphadrome to read any of these. That's no problem. But if you want to make a comment or make an addition to keep this thing growing, like if you have some old catalogs or even new, because this kind of, I think maybe the latest stuff that I have on there is from the 80s, maybe the 90s. I can't remember. As you go through, we kind of ran out of some of the vintage stuff and started pumping in more. I mean, you could put in catalog pictures and images from stuff that's currently available now and keep this thing kind of up to date, keep it growing. And every time someone does add a post to it, it'll kick it back to the front page of Alphadrome in the Robothut section. Right here, it would pop it back up, and then other people would enjoy it. So I'll leave a link down below. I just wanted you to be able to enjoy something that I love enjoying about this time of year every year, and it's looking back on the vintage toys and what their functions were, what they were described as, and what their costs were. It's just really amazing.